Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Yesterday, I finished my last class of our spiritual semesters with our happy hour and power hour students, our children, our kids, our youth. In happy hour senior, a student had shared with me, that as soon as he wakes up, he thinks of his school assignments and whether he had completed them or not, even though he had completed them. And as he was sharing this with me, I was quite shocked. I was never that kind of student. I was shocked. And then so many others started supporting him in the chat. That happens to me too. And that happens to me too. For us, when you wake up, you should wake up to meaning. Not to be alarmed by, did you do the dishes? Where do you have to go today? And that's why we have our workshop. How you wake up sets the pace for the rest of your day. And how your days today will set the pace for tomorrow. How important this morning workshop is. In chapter 2, verse 12, we were introduced to the spirit, which is of the nature of Sat. Sat means all. All in all of the ways we're oriented. So all matter, all time, all space. In verse 12, Sri Krishna shares, you, me, and all of the people gathered, we were in the past, we're in the present, we're in the future. Sat is being oriented towards all-pervading space-wise. Now in verse 13, Sri Krishna is taking up a different orientation. He's talking about the different stages that we go through, from being a child to a kid to a youth, different bodies also. The spirit or Sat is all pervading in terms of time. Okay? 12, all space. 13, all time. In a more relative sense, Sri Krishna introduces the ego and shares the ego goes through different states every day. We're awake, we're dreaming, we're sleeping. It's the same ego. You're with me? He extrapolates this when we're a child, when we're a teenager, when we're an adult. It's the same ego. I remember when I was in high school. I remember when I got married. And now he's extrapolating more, sharing, since this happens to you every day with the different states, this happens to you in this lifetime as you mature physically, the same will happen in terms of bodies. From body 1 to body 2 to body 3. There is no reason to be sad. You went through this, you're going through this, you'll go through it again. There's no reason to be sad. And why does the ego go through all of this? To learn that the ego is the spirit and not the body. And a very optimistic message for all of us. However much your ego learns, with this body, when this body is freshened, as in this body stops and a new body starts, your ego will keep learning from where it left off. Just like when you woke up this morning, did you forget everything about meaningful mornings? See how positive I am. And my point is that you left off from what you learned. You do that every day. You do that your whole life. Now he's only going through lifetimes. Everyone's feeling good about what's being shared so far? Anyone overwhelmed? We continue. Chapter 2, verse 14. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agama payino nityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. First quarter. Kaunteya, the son of Kunti, tu, indeed. Being emphatic about this message. Matra sparshaha. Matra sparshaha. The sense organs are ever engaged in the sense objects. That is what Sri Krishna is sharing. Sense organs, sense objects. We have seen this visually. The sense organs are the horses, and the sense objects are the paths that the horses travel through. One subtle point that's being shared here is, as you go outside of the sense organs, there's more change. The sense objects change more than the sense organs. Yes? If you look around right now, the sense objects are changing so much, but your sense organs are not. What happens when the sense organs meet the sense objects? Shitaha. They experience that which is cool. Ushna, that which is hot. Sukha, that which is pleasurable. Dukkha, that which is painful. The reference that Sri Krishna is sharing here, the ego goes through states, goes through stages, goes through bodies, goes through these different experiences also, like cold and hot, pleasurable and painful. It's the same ego. What about the spirit? The spirit is even more all-pervading space-wise, all-pervading time-wise. So why are you feeling sad about change? Why are you feeling sad about death when this is a highly relative experience? He specifies, agama apayina anitya. All of these experiences, agama, they come. Apayina, they go. Anitya, because they're not permanent. They come, they go. They're perishing, just like the body is. Remember the word for body, deha. That which is infinite, the spirit or Sat, can't have an association with that which is finite. Can light and dark have a relationship? Yes or no? No, they're mutually exclusive. If there's light, there can't be darkness. If there's darkness, there can't be light. Can you be so happy that you feel sad? No, they're mutually exclusive, correct? Or I'm so sad that I feel happy. It's not possible. The spirit is of the nature of Sat. What should you think of? S-A-T? You should think A-L-L. Sat is all. Space, time, and matter. What's being described here is that which is not all. This is always changing, always dying. You are deeper than what is happening. Since the infinite cannot have an association with that which is finite, the infinite is also not affected by that which is finite. This is what Sri Krishna's message is in this verse. Tan titikshasva bharata. Bharata means the one who revels in knowledge, revels in their spirit. And if they're doing that, titikshasva means to endure or forbear. Tan means everything that's described so far. All of the experiences between the sense organs and sense objects. I'll summarize some more. When you were a teenager, what were you fascinated by? Maybe video games, maybe traveling, maybe another person. Now that you're not a teenager, you're a young adult, an adult. As you grew up, you also grew out of what you were fascinated by. Correct? I enjoyed playing Nintendo a lot when I was growing up. Now we don't even have a TV. I grew up, so I grew out of that. Yes? We have to grow up from this body to the ego, to the spirit. And if we do that, we'll grow out of whatever is happening to the body, whatever is happening to the ego. Nothing happens to the spirit. Madhusudana Saraswati writes about this verse. His exact words are, "These can do nothing to me. These can do nothing to me. These can do nothing to me." This should be our mantra for today, forever. Many of you have been on yatras with me. The word yatra means to move. And though you're moving physically, the idea is to move inside to the ego, to the spirit, because it changes less. Remember I said the sense objects change the most. And as you become more inward looking, there's less change. So less of an experience of death, less of an experience of fear. I share with all of our yatris, on our yatras, no complaining, no criticizing, and no crying unnecessarily. See, that's Tam's Titik Shasva Bharata. I'm just saying it in English, in an aggressive way. I will share more about how important Titiksha is. This verse is related to the next one. What you will experience as you become more inward looking. From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday was to count all that you do for the body. Does someone dare share a number about what you do for the body? And do you dare share a dollar value to how many minutes or hours you invest in the body? What I was thinking about is we have to learn to tend less to the body so that we can transcend more of the body. As soon as we wake up, we start tending to the body. We have to change that habit to as soon as we wake up to transcend the body. And that's only possible if there's more meaning in your life than the body, than brushing your teeth and drinking coffee and pampering yourself. Your application for this morning. Nase roga hare sabapira, japata nirantara, hanumata bira. The whole world, particularly those of Bharatiya culture, are going through a lot of roga, which means physical illness, and pira, which means mental illness, whether that's fear or sadness. And the only way to free ourselves of this is japata nirantara hanumata vira, by remembering our original parent, remembering our spirit. And so, on Saturday, May 1st, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, our community is going to get mobilized to support those who are struggling in Bharat. And we may not know someone who's struggling in Bharat, but we know someone here who knows someone who's struggling in Bharat. This will be a community gathering where we will strengthen our bodies, strengthen our minds, and we will mobilize our strengths to actively support those in Bharat with medical supplies and all else that is needed. The poster for this will be shared today, Saturday, May 1st at 8 p.m. It's May Day. We need to mobilize. That's what a May Day signal is, correct? So make sure you're ready for that and spread the word too. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.